Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Give me a second. I'm audible right now. So basically, does anyone want to tell what did we cover in the previous class? Gautam, do you want to tell what had we covered in our previous class? Yeah, pile foundation, Tushar is saying pile foundation, and then site visit, topography, layout, northing, easting, elevation, layout. Okay, so we had covered those things, and I think someone had asked a doubt regarding your pedestal and footing, as we had covered the foundation part, so we couldn't cover that. So let's clear that doubt, and after that we'll proceed forward. So basically, I think Tushar had asked. So basically, from the practical point of view, let us.
हेलो सर
Yeah, Alok, do you want to say anything?
सर जो ड्राइंग कहले करियाको सेटा हम ग्रुप करि देछु ग्रुप रे छाडिबु केमिति
Good afternoon, sir. Good
Yeah,
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Are you allowed to post anything in the group? I think now you are allowed. You can
Again, sir.
post anything in the group right now. Earlier
ठीक है
setting was changed. Now you can post anything.
ओके सर
Yes, sir.
Okay. So so there was a question from someone that he wanted to know the difference between pedestrian footing. So basically, let me show you a picture first, and then we'll stop and proceed. I'll share my screen, and then you can proceed. Here we have this. So is the screen visible?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is a column. The reinforcement is complete, but the casting has not been done completely. But this will be a column. In this portion, this is a column, and this is a pedestal, and this is a footing. So basically, what is the difference between these two? And before telling the difference, let us discuss why the pedestal is provided. So basically, both column and pedestal both are compression members that they get the compressions, and the pedestal is a member the effective length of which doesn't exceed 3 times the least lateral dimension of the column. So what is it exactly? We'll just go through this. Let us just go through this, and now we can just PhD training. Let us open IS 456 2000. So those of you who are in second year, IS 456 2000 is post for reinforced Indian code for reinforced cement concrete. Here you will find all the specifications related to design and execution of RCC structures. So here in clause number 26 point, let us just move on to clause, we have 13, move on to clause 26.3. So have you seen this IS 456? Those of you who are in second year, third year, they have already done design of concrete structures in that they have covered. Maybe we'll just it's better to write such.
Pedestal.
सर पेज नंबर कितने सर?
Go to second row. I'll tell you the page number in which it is written. Search from the beginning, then we'll find it. Close and clause. Yeah, so it's in page number 48 and clause number 26.5.3.1 in IS 456. You will find that the definition of pedestal here. So it is written here: pedestal is a compression member, the effective length of which doesn't exceed the three times the least lateral dimension. So if you haven't understood it, so I'll just tell you practically what does it mean. Suppose you have a column here. Suppose you have a normal column, and this is a column here, and the size of the column, let the size of the column be 250 into 300. So 250 into 300 is the size of the column. So basically, now what is the least lateral dimension of this column? It's 250 here, right? So if the column size is 250, let's denote it by C size, or column size is 250 to 300. The least lateral dimension here among 250 and 300, which one is less? 250 is less. So the maximum length of pedestal will be equals to your 3 into 250, which is equals to kitna ho raha? How much? 750. So 750 mm. If we have a column size of 50 mm into 300 mm, the maximum length of pedestal can be 750 mm. So let us go back to the image here. So if the column size is suppose 300 into 400, then tell me what should be the maximum length of this pedestal. Yeah. Did you get my question? We have some answers here. 900. So this is the correct answer. So it is as if 300 into 400. So the least lateral dimension is 300. So the right answer is 900. So if it is more than 900, then it is not a pedestal. If the length is between less than 900 or up to 900, then it is a pedestal. So this is the definition, practical definition of a pedestal. As per IS code also, we have validated it. And yeah, okay. So I hope your doubt of regarding pedestal has been cleared. And you can also note down the clause in which this is written. You can note down IS 456 26.5.3.1. You can note down this clause in which we'll find the pedestal. So let us move forward. Okay, so in the previous class, I think we had covered up to layout portion. So site visit we had completed, and layout also we had completed. So can anyone tell me what is layout again, just briefly? Any one of you?
Sir, layout is a center line of the building when the plotted in the plan in the ground.
Basically, the center line of all the footings or the columns are plotted in the ground in case of our layout. So we discussed this, and moving forward to the foundation part. Now, Tushar has more doubt regarding pedestal. No, each column doesn't have pedestal because pedestal is not compulsory nowadays. It's provided usually in steel. Please mute yourself. And in remaining buildings, we don't need to. There is no provide pedestal also. So it's not provided in every column or every building. I already told now why pedestal is provided. Pedestal is provided to transfer the loads of the column to the footing. So it acts as an intermediate, but exactly if you go by the designs also, it is not required in some cases, as you can see here. Also, if you can go into the detail also, in case of you don't, if you can design the loads directly for the column and the footing, like here is it is written, if in case of pedestals, is it visible? In case of pedestal in which the longitudinal reinforcement is not taken into account in strength calculation, a nominal reinforcement of 0.15% is provided. So it is not required that you take pedestal as a design member. You can just simply provide it for additional safety purposes if you think that it is required. Okay, so moving on to the foundation part. So we'll now discuss about the foundation part. Let me just, okay. So basically, as we had told you in this project of this P plus D plus 4 building, the foundation type was of your pile foundation. We had already shown you some of the drawings, and now we'll take you to the steps. So the first step of the foundation work is excavation. Here it is, in case this is pile foundation, so there will be drilling. But if in the case of an isolated footing, normal footings, it will be your yourself, please. So it will be your, if when you're not speaking, please mute your mic so that there is no disturbance. So it will be excavation. So let us just see the excavation part here. As you can see, this is the same site in which the excavation or the drilling for the piles is going on. So basically, this is the instrument which is used for the drilling of the piles. This is a tripod. The tripod, because it's called tripod because it has 3 legs, and the instrument which is used for the drilling is, as you can see here. Can anyone name this instrument, this one, which is used for the drilling of the pile? Okay, so this is called the auger, or also AUGER. You can note it down. Auger is used for the drilling of the pile holes for the piles, and after the drilling is done during after using the auger, after that we just insert the reinforcement inside the holes for the piles. So before that, one material is used. Let me just if I just can share my screen. Give me a moment. AUGER, auger. Yeah, I'll just share my whiteboard. So basically, if we have a pile here like that, just take a line here for better. If you are drilling a hole for a pile like this, drilling a hole for a pile using the auger. Let's say just as in this case, the hole was of 1 feet diameter. So 1 feet diameter hole we are digging through the auger, but we have to make sure that this is the soil here. So sorry, this is your soil here. This is underground. So you have to make sure that while the auger is removed, the surrounding soils do not collapse, and it doesn't collapse the hole which is created. The hole doesn't fill with water, or if it is with water, it's okay. But if the hole doesn't fill with the soil from the surrounding area, so for that, what is done? So that the stability of this hole is maintained up to the point where the reinforcement is inserted. So for that, a material is used which is known as, if you have studied soil mechanics, those of you in third year must have heard about this. It is called bentonite. So the purpose of the bentonite is given in the mix while drilling through the auger. The bentonite is mixed through the hole, and the purpose of this bentonite is to maintain the stability of the soils or the periphery along which the drilling is done. Okay, so after this much, if you have any questions, you can ask. I hope you have some curiosity and doubts. You can raise your hand and ask your question if you have any. Okay, so nobody has. Okay, Alok, go for it. Yeah.
सर बेंटोनाइट माने को भले मेटेरियल एटा को से कौन चीज बेंटोनाइट?
Bentonite is like you must have heard about this multani mitti or montmorillonite in soil mechanics. It's a material which is of a different texture, which just keeps the water, keep the soil bonded. It's a type of a soil. You can it is available in the market. You can purchase that material, and those contractors which they while they go for the uh, pile foundation, they just buy this, and they mix this bentonite with water, and then at a specified ratio they just insert this bentonite while drilling. Okay, hope you got this point. So after this drilling is done and the bentonite is applied so that their temporary stability is obtained in the hole, and yeah, this is the right type of clay. So after that, what we do is we just provide you can just provide the reinforcement cage for the pile foundation. They provide it, and after that, after the reinforcement cage has been provided, after that what we do is we do the casting of the pile. So while doing the casting of the pile, there is something like this is given, and something like this is given. So this portion, so this is the reinforcement cage. If I can write this is the reinforcement cage for pile. Reinforcement cage for pile, because they cannot have photos underground, so I have to explain you like this. Cage for pile foundation. So reinforcement diagram we already had shown you along with the bulbs. So this is the reinforcement cage for pile, the black one, and just represent it. Can you represent it properly using the blue? We'll do that. Yeah. Okay, this is a reinforcement cage, and after the reinforcement cage is done, the reinforcement is done. The reinforcement will be like this. It should be. Should be the reinforcement cage will look like this. There will be reinforcements like this, and also like this. The ties. This will be straight. Pardon me for that. So this will be a reinforcement cage, and this will be the pile hole. And after the reinforcement cage is done, then we'll have this term. You can note it down. Then we'll just use a charge plate. Charge plate in which concrete will be poured. So inside this charge plate, we'll place the concrete, and below here, a metal plate will be there, so that the concrete doesn't fall into the. It is just like a conical shape thing, and below there is a stopper. And after filling the charge plate, we just remove the stopper. Then the entire concrete just falls inside the pile. So this thing is done. Why we don't, this thing is done so that a specified quantity can enter the inside the ground at a time. So that's why they do this thing. We have some questions in chat. Cover is also provided while inserting concrete cylinder in small size. Yes, cover is also provided.
Sir,
Hello. Yeah, can you tell your name and then you can ask your question? Yes, please go ahead. Hello. Yes, Anita asked a question. The cover is provided. Cover of 75 mm is provided in the pile, as you can see in the drawing, while inserting the reinforcement. So we'll just share our screen again. So someone was asking any question. If you have any question, please go ahead. Tell your name and then you can ask your question. I think okay, he is muted again. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can raise your hand and then ask. Okay. So basically, this was it. These are the tripod. This is the auger, and using the auger, the drilling is done. And after the drilling is done, then we use this. As you can see here, this is. You can zoom this. Let's see. You can zoom this. This is the charge plate. So using this charge plate, they place in this particular hole, and then the concrete is inserted in the hole, having the pile hole, having the reinforcement cage. So that's how the pile foundation casting is done. And in the case of normal footing, the excavation will be done, and we'll also show you an example of normal footing also. But for this, let's move forward, then I'll show you. So after this, excavation, then you should go for the sand filling. Okay, so excavation is done, and then we have this piles are already you're done, and after that we'll level the ground properly so that we can just start from a particular level. So so for that the sand filling is done in the plot, and after the sand filling is done, and then we had gone for the your PCC work. So before that we'll just discuss the what is the use of the sand filling and why sand filling is done and not is filling using any other material. So as you can see in this particular site, because I can just zoom out and just show you. This particular site will just show you if it is a different, if it is any different. So can anyone tell me? Okay, this is normal type of footing excavation which is done, and then this is the different project, but I'm just showing you what will happen in if it is not pile and if it is normal footing. So if in case of normal footing, the excavation will be done like this, and then after the excavation is done, then the sand filling will be done. Sand filling is done like this. So can anyone tell me why the sand, why you do the filling or backfilling using sand only? Why not any other material? Why not any soil? Okay, Alok is participating actively. Okay, Alok, please go ahead.
So sand compressive nature is higher than the soil material.
Okay.
In this case, the sand is used for sand filling in the ground. Yes,
so you have heard something, you all have heard something about your compaction. Those who have studied soil mechanics in third year, fourth year, you have heard sometimes about soil compaction, cohesive soil, non-cohesive soil. So sand is basically non-cohesive soil. So non-cohesive soil means that the particles of sand don't stick together, and due to this property, and due to this property, the sand particles have lesser number of air voids and water voids, and even if they have air voids and water voids, they get easily compacted. But in case of normal soil, if in case of clay, silt, or any other type of soil, there is air voids and water voids, but after some compaction, it will some of the voids are reduced. But to get compacted or consolidated fully, you will need at least by natural process you will need approximately 3 to 5 years time. So that's not possible practically. But in sand, if you just do the curing using some water and some compaction, normal light compaction, then it can be the air voids and the water voids can be removed almost completely. So what happens is that when your soil or the backfill is compacted fully, like in the case of sand, then after the construction of the building, settlements will not occur. So if the settlements don't occur, then no cracks will be generated. But in the case of soil, what will happen is the settlement will not occur maybe in 1 or 2 years. After 2 or 3 years, there will be some settlements. Differential settlement can also be there. So the so the building can get settled like this or like this. So after that, there can be some cracks which are generated in your building. So for that, you should advise that for the sand filling, for the back filling, always sand is preferred in case of any other soil. So we had some answers here. Drainage property, high shear strength as compared to clay and plasticity by upper number of voids. Shubhendu has asked an interesting question. I'll just answer that. Yeah, less number of voids due to more permeability of sand. This can be compacted quickly. So basic answer is that sand can be compacted quickly in comparison to other soil, and this is because it is a cohesionless particle, and the voids between the sands also can be removed very easily. So these are the basics, and there is Shubhendu has asked an interesting question, and okay, we'll just answer this. But if we have pictures, then we could visualize this properly, like you have in the case of your pile foundation. this pile foundation. As you can see here, this is your pile foundation, and if you can zoom in and see if we have any. Okay, we have one here. So I'll send you a video also in this group. We had a video in YouTube. So you have this pile here, and you have this particular thing. This is called the pile head. So what happens is you pour the concrete using this charge plate. After that, some portion of the concrete comes out. Suppose say 50 mm or 100 mm. This part needs to be broken. This is called head breaking of pile. Head breaking needs to be done because this particle, this extra particle is done. Along with this extra particle, some of the impurities of the inside concrete come out. So what happens in the pile phenomena, this is a little bit deep, pardon to say, but it's very simple concept is very simple. I hope I can explain you, so I'm giving it a try. It's little bit okay. So this is a pile, and now we are pouring the concrete. If we had animation, then we could easily do it. So we are pouring the concrete. Let me just try my best. So while we are pouring the concrete level is getting up. Suppose in the first stage, different color. Suppose in the first stage, the concrete level has gone up to this. Okay, concrete level has gone up to this. The second stage, the concrete level has gone up to this. So the concrete is rising. So as you can see, if I have a pencil here, if I have any number of pencil here, okay. So the concrete level is going like this. From bottom, it is going like this. It is not that this pipe is we are just throwing the concrete from a higher distance. We are just simply slowly removing this upwards, this charge plate, and the concrete is going like this. It's going from bottom to top, like this. It's going, and slowly this charge plate also we are moving it upwards. So what happens is that the impurities or the impure particles, whatever the sand particles, is that it keeps going up. It doesn't settle below because this density is low. So it keeps going up. So we provide some extra concrete so that this impurities particle can come outside and form a head like this. This 100 mm head is formed. So this head is actually a impure form of concrete. So we need to break it. So I tried to explain you. Did you understand it? Who asked it? Who had asked it? Let's just see in the chat box who asked it. Yeah, I think Dev. Shubhendu, did you are you clear about this?
Sir, repeat it, please.
Shubhendu is clear, and Alok is not clear. Okay. So basically क्या होता है यहाँ पे आपको बता देता हूँ. It's very clear. So we have this hole for the pile here, and we have this reinforcement cage here. Let me just reinforcement cage of the pile along with the cover, as Anita said. So this is the reinforcement cage, and this is we have one particular charge plate along with which is inserted along with the pipe. So this pipe is slowly moved upwards like this. It's first inserted to the bottom, and then it's slowly moved upwards, this pipe. So when it is at this position, the flow of the concrete will be like this. Let me select this for concrete. The flow of the concrete will be like this. So it will move upwards. So if there are any impurities, then it will also keep moving upwards. So this concrete flow will be like this, and the impurities also will keep moving upwards. So the upper part of the pile, a head or some extra concrete will come out after the whole casting of the pile is done, which will be a form of impure concrete or impurities, which should be broken. So that's why the pile head is broken before your casting. So hope I could clear this. This was a good question. Thanks for asking the question. I hope everyone else has benefited by your question. Okay. So basically we're telling about the sand filling. We have discussed why sand filling is preferred. Sandeep has asked how to avoid air voids and water voids in pile foundation. If you want to avoid air voids and water voids in pile foundation, always remember that the pipe of the charge plate should should be below the concrete. Now, what does this mean? For that also, I can show it again. Below the concrete, at least by a level of one feet. So as you can see here, suppose this is the level of concrete. This is the level of concrete, current level of concrete. Okay. So the charge plate.
Charge plate, sir. Hello. Sir,
Can you tell
charge
your
plate.
Can you tell your name?
Chhattu Kumar Sharma.
Okay. So we have a charge plate. Sorry, this is
Okay, sir.
this is a charge plate. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We have pipe attached here by which the concrete will come out. So at the initial level, at the bottom level, the concrete come out like this.
Yes.
The pipe will be at the bottom. So the concrete has been filled up to this. Suppose this portion the concrete has been filled. So we'll move this pipe a little bit upwards. Okay, but the pipe should be inside the concrete always. You should not just take it out. If you take it out, let me just erase this. I think this is hotspot. We can just erase this and then can show you everything. We'll create 3 diagrams for explaining you. No problem in explaining. Until and unless you're clear, we'll just touch this topic, so we'll clear this. So we'll create 3 images so to explain you. So are you guys finding this interesting? If it's boring, then you can tell me in the chat box. Yeah, this Chandan is right. Concrete should not be poured for more height to avoid air bubbles. Charge plate should be as nearer as possible. That's correct. So this is your hole, and we'll just avoid drawing the reinforcements again. Suppose this is our charge plate. We'll give straight lines. This is our charge plate. Yeah, this is our charge plate, and this is your pipe for the charge plate. This is your pipe for the charge plate, and along which the concrete will go. So initially this is at this level. We'll just keep moving it upwards slowly. We can keep moving it upwards. So firstly, when the concrete will come out, it will come out like this. We are adding concrete here through this charge plate, and through this pipe the concrete will go and it will come up like this. So if there is any water or any impurities, it will come out to this, and the concreting will be complete up to this part. So when the concrete is complete up to this part, this is your fresh concrete. So we'll move the charge plate and the pipe little bit upwards, but it should not come out of the level of the concrete. So suppose it should be the next drawing will be like this, should be like this. You can just put this below and inside the concrete. This much we have the concrete layer. This much we have the concrete layer, and we're inserting the concrete while this at this level. So the concrete will come out again up to this much. So like this process will repeat. We should not just pull it out of this concrete, because sometimes the levers do it, which is wrong. We should always keep the pipe of the charge plate immersed in the concrete, at least by a minimum portion of 1 feet. So Subhendu's doubt has been cleared, Chandan's doubt has been cleared. Sandeep, hope we were cleared also, and others, hope you have understood the questions and answers which we had discussed. So that was a good question to start with. So is now the screen visible? Now it's visible, right? Okay. So we are discussing about the sand fill. Now the sand filling important points we have discussed. Now let us go to the PCC. So what is the full form of PCC?
PCC.
Plain cement concrete.
Okay. So
Plain cement concrete.
So why is it given plain cement concrete? So we have some answers here in the chat box. Let us just view those answers. we have, yeah, no reinforcement is used, only compression. Yeah, no reinforcement is used in PCC because it's only cement, sand and aggregate. So no reinforcement is used. This is correct. And as you can see here, yeah. So as you can see, sorry, yeah, as you can see here, this portion, some work has been done, and if I can show you in different drawing also. So this is basically the footing, and show you in different slide also the PCC works. This one, like some PCC is done below the footing also. After the footing is excavated, there is some sand filling which is done, and after that the PCC has been done. And PCC is also done below the plinth beam. We can show you any diagram. Yeah, PCC is also given below the plinth beam here, as you can see here. So basically PCC is given, PCC work is done below the footing and also in the plinth beam. So in this case we don't have footing, we have pile cap. So below the pile cap also there will be sand filling, and after the sand filling there will be PCC work. PCC thickness is usually given of 75 mm, and the ratio which is used is 1:4:8, which is 1 is cement, 4 is your sand, and 8 is your aggregate. So this ratio is generally used, and as you can see here, this is your periphery wall and this is your foot. Yeah. So after that, after the PCC, we'll move forward to the reinforcement binding. Unmute your mic, please. Mute your mic, please. Yeah. Thanks. So basically, moving on to the reinforcement binding now. As you can see here in this, below this reinforcement cage, the PCC work has already been done. PCC work is done to provide a stable surface to the footing so that they can transfer the load properly, and also while in the casting any water or any other leakage in the substance don't come up. So that's why the PCC is done. So after the PCC work, this reinforcement cage, thickness of PCC 75 mm. So thickness of PCC on Animesh asked what is the thickness of used in PCC. It is 75 mm or 3 inch. So after the PCC work, this reinforcement cage will be laid out, and if you are at the site, now what are the things which you need to observe, or what are the things you need to check in this, in case you have this particular, if you go in the condition of time of this footing reinforcement binding. So the first thing you need to check is these spacings between these two footing reinforcements, and whether the footing reinforcements are provided as per your structural drawings or not. So we'll just have a look at our structural drawings of the footings or this pile cap. Subhendu, the criteria of 3 pile or 4 pile you will cover in the design part. So if you just design a building, any building, then you can decide whether you have whichever foundation you will give. So for that you need to design the complete building. Only after that you can just give, you can just provide 3 pile or 4 pile randomly. So this is the reinforcement, and we'll just go through the drawings, reinforcement drawings, as we had footing drawings. So it also shown you in the previous class also, but we'll just relate this. Now, yeah, this is the footing schedule. Now we'll just go into the footing details. Yeah. So like this is a 4 pile, and we have this pile cap, and let us just see this pile cap details. As you can see, 16 mm reinforcement at the 6 inch center to center has been provided along both sides. So this is the top view of this pile cap reinforcement, as you can see in this diagram also. So these bars are basically the 16 mm bars, which are provided at a spacing of 6 inch center to center at the bottom. And as you can see, if you can zoom this, can you tell me what is this called? This particular bar which is coming out from the column. One, these two, and this 3, 4. This particular 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what are these called? Can you tell me?
Sir, benta bar.
No, these are not bent up bars. These are called starter bars. Starter bars column. So the purpose of the starter bars is to fix the column to the with the footing reinforcement. It is a starting or the joining of the column reinforcement with the footing reinforcement. So the stresses can be transferred from the footing to the column. So they bind the column and the footing together, which is the purpose of this starter bars. So basically, there should be minimum 4 number of starter bars, as there are 4 minimum longitudinal reinforcement used in the column. So these are the longitudinal reinforcement, these vertical ones. So these are the starter bars, and we have also discussed about the type of the purpose of the starter bars. Now there is another purpose of a site engineer, which is to calculate the quantity of reinforcement which will be used in your footing. So suppose we have this particular footings here. So these footings are in this case we have the pile caps here. So we need to calculate the quantity of reinforcement which will be used in this footings. So for that we can show you an example, a brief example of how to calculate the reinforcement. Okay. So basically, let me just switch off the screen share. Okay. So basically what happens is that when you are at a site, you get the structural drawings and you get the architectural drawings. Now you are at the time of the footing casting. So now before the footing casting, you need to decide how much reinforcement you need to procure at the site. Suppose, as you can see in this drawing, there is 16 mm reinforcement of the footing. So how many pieces of reinforcement you need to procure? So that thing you need to calculate, and then you need to procure or buy the particular materials. So can anyone tell me what is the maximum, what is the length of one particular rod or one particular reinforcement bar? One number of reinforcement bar, what is the length? This actually comes in coils like this, the reinforcement bar. 12 meter, yes.
13 meter.
No, 13 meter
13
is
meter.
12 meter is the right answer. So this comes in a form of a coil, and the length is 12 meter. So using this length, we need to determine how many pieces of reinforcement we need to buy for starting our foundation works. So this thing will show you in the next class. We could show you today, but I had given you a task in the previous two classes I'm telling you, and Gautam has also already told me that in the previously you were not allowed to send anything to the group. Now it has been allowed, so please send the task. I had told you how to send me the brief rough sketch of your building in plain piece of paper, and then upload it into the group like this. We had just told you like this, just open like this. You all are staying at your home now, or in a hostel or anywhere. You can just like this, you can just make a rough sketch of your building plan. So what will happen, what is the advantage of this? Because we are to discuss some important aspects of planning in our and in this particular course curriculum, so that you can just have a brief idea how many number of rooms will come out, and how to think about making a plan. Because as a civil engineer, when you know the dimensions, suppose you are staying at your house, you don't know the dimension of your room, then you cannot think about a plan. You don't know the dimension, what is the width of your window. So these certain things, basic things, we'll discuss in the next class, but only after you complete this task. So this thing we'll discuss in the next class, and also we'll discuss how to calculate the reinforcement reinforcement quantity in the footing. So these two things we'll discuss. In addition, we'll just continue this particular internship, normal internship course of this B plus in the construction steps of this B plus D+4 building. So we'll end this session here. Okay, any questions do you want to ask? We have 5 minutes, I think.
Sir, what is the starter bar and what is the use of the starter bar in putting
See,
or pile?
starter bars are basically used, like the footing reinforcement has been completed, and after that footing reinforcement binding has been completed. The column reinforcement binding is also parallelly completed, because the column starts from the footing. As you can see in the image also, if you can share my screen again, as you can see in this image also, the column reinforcement is fitted inside the footing. So for transferring the stress from the reinforcement of the column to the reinforcement of the footing, the starter bars is provided in every column connected to your footing. Okay. So hope I am clear now. Any other doubts?
Sir, why this bar is not bento bar?
So for that you need to know what is bent up. If you have any chat here, you have some chats here. Will you be seeing the beam column connections in the later classes? Yes, we'll be seeing beam column connections. Bent up bar is provided in roof. Yeah, this is right. Chandan is right. Bent up bar is provided in roof. Basically, if you can just go through your Pillai book, then you can find out. But in the whiteboard, I'll show you. Bent up bar is basically like this. It is provided in the roof, and it is basically like this. So no, sorry, this. Like this. This is the bent up bars which is provided in slabs, but it is also not compulsory right nowadays. The different technique is also come, in which we don't need these bent up bars. So basically, this is bent up bar, but this is not bent up bar. This is starter bar, which is used in the footing. Okay. So any other questions? It's good that you all are interacting. There are some very active students, and you're interacting and making this session. You're asking very interesting questions, like there was a very interesting question asked about the pile cap today. So it's good. So we'll keep moving. This is our third class, I think. So we'll keep moving forward, and I request all of you again, please do the task which has been assigned to you. Because if you don't do it, then because you are here to learn. Because if you don't do it, then we cannot proceed further, and you cannot learn about the things which I am going to tell you in the next class. Okay. So yes, Gautam, there is the task of making a plan, which was in the previous class. Nobody has done, I think. So this is that you already done, na? Have you sent this to the group? Please send it to the group again. If you have submitted. Yeah, Gautam, please submit it to the group, so that we can discuss about those plan in the next class, upcoming classes. Okay, so we will wrap up this session right now. Bye. See you in the next class.